mandate, Article 228. And we cannot be taking institutions for granted. The same way the Office of the Auditor General is a constitutional office, Article 229. Their job is to report to us whether public funds are being used lawfully and effectively. They have come to KC and they've said 604 transactions were voided, and therefore that was unlawful. It violates Article 228, and it was not effective. The only thing that I've not seen here that could help me to make a determination and even make recommendation for investigation and prosecution is that evidence that the Auditor General saw. So, Auditor General, this information that was provided, please let us be seized of it so that we confirm that indeed these were approved. And if we get that information, then people like Chacha belong to prison because they've come here to mislead the Senate and they've come here to tender falsehoods in terms of evidence. So I think, members, we need that visibility that the Auditor General has. We cannot depart from this position.
Thank you, Chair.
Chair, among the voided transaction, is Chacha his own, I think, allowance if you check there. Therefore, this one confirms that even in voiding is not necessary for the people. Senator Sifuna was asking, it's not necessarily. These are among the allowances again. I've seen so many because I've gone through this thing, if you look at it keenly. And if you check even Commission of Tax, a number of them there which have been avoided. But as you put it, let us have that communication as it was requested from the OAG.
Senator Jonka.
Governor, the point I would wish that you zeroed in with your team is very simple. And I think Sifuna, Honorable Sifuna, my leader, has spoken about it. Senator Kajwang has raised this issue. We are saying the law says once the Auditor General approves payment, that is the next move. You go and pay. Under these circumstances, the controller of budget, once they have approved payments to be made, you are actually not supposed to reverse that. It's as good as cash, isn't it? Only that it's going to be transmitted electronically into the accounts of the service providers. What is troubling us, and I keep on repeating this, it is not necessarily a Kisii County issue because 70% of the governors are doing this. Why would you reverse approvals by the controller of budget for you to pay either institutions or individuals? And then what happens once you have stopped those payments? Do you rebudget with the same names, with the same companies? And in this case, like we have said, we want the auditor to provide us what the controller of budget provided as the one pager that we want to do. But I would also, Chair, make a request that the county executive and especially the CEC Finance provides us with the list of after those voidings were done, who were paid immediately after that. Then we can do the comparative analysis.
That's what will give us clarity.
Chair, my final proposal on this matter, because when we sit here, we usually identify gaps in systems and laws, that then we make some suggestions as a committee and recommendations. Control of budget. What is this system that allows county governments to essentially usurp your role as stated by the chair? And what can be done by the Senate, for instance, to tie the hands of the county governments such that once a letter of credit comes from your office, it is physically not possible for anybody to untangle themselves from that situation. What can we do as a Senate to make sure that once you say, pay this money, even if Chacha is as gifted as he sounds, he is not going to be able to mess around with that list and ensures that the people you have approved payment for get that payment. What can we do?
Controller and National Treasury will also chip in. Controller.
Thank you, Chair. Once the controller of budget has given approval for payment, that is a single credit into a county operational account, that is from the CRF. She has no sight completely of who is paid. And if I recall, I think this was a discussion that was in the Senate before, where the controller was asking the Senate if she can get the approval of the county CRFs to see who actually benefits from these payments. And I think that is a debate that is still, I'm not sure whether it's still on the floor of the Senate. Yeah.
But why is she requesting, and it is a constitutional responsibility? If she's approving withdrawal from public funds, that withdrawal is for a certain cause, isn't it? They are not withdrawing to keep in a locker. They are withdrawing to pay somebody.
You're very right. I remember the controller asking the Senate to compel CBK to give her those rights.
But this is a system. It's an IT system you're running.
Exactly.
Why is it not possible?
So the letter of credit is a manual thing.
Yes, it is a manual thing. They collect the paper, the approval, they then go to bank at the CBK. So whatever happens in the county operational account.
This is ridiculous. Honorable Chair. That doesn't make any sense.
Chair, help me to understand this.
Maybe let's hear from Senator Wambua, then we'll
Maybe I should be able to understand this, maybe from Chacha. Chacha, so when you go to the controller budget with a requisition for approval, you want to pay this guy, okay? So it's part of the requisition. Then they release money for you to go and pay this one. Now, when you go back to Kisii, if you use the same amount that was approved to pay this guy, and you pay this one, who was not part of the requisition, is this okay? Secondly, on this one specifics, and there's a dispute, of course, but are you saying that the 232 million Kenya shillings is still held somewhere in an account, or have you used that money to pay other people?
Thank you.
Governor?
Chair, the question Senator Wambua is asking, is it possible that person A has applied for payment at COB, then after the approval, is it possible that person C could have been paid by the money of person A? I don't think it's possible. And you know that's, if it's possible, I don't know what we call it. But again, Chair, I want to
Governor,
disagree.
Governor, just a minute. Let's distinguish two things. Is it possible? Definitely yes. Is it happening in Kisii? That will be for you to respond. But is it possible to requisition to pay A and pay B? We have seen that in the other 46 counties. So you speak about Kisii.
All right, Chair. I want to vehemently refuse to accept that there was approval, payment by the control of budget. Then those transactions were voided, as by the observation of the OAG. And Chair, instead of us going round, let him provide that evidence that yes, this so much 200 and something was approved, you did not pay, you voided. Therefore, we'll be able to ask these people, why did you void these transactions?
Yeah, because we are.
That's fair.
Yeah,
in that case, then the assumption will be then the 202 million is seated safe.
Still there? Yes, it must be.
No, but Chacha said the rebudget.
Being
said the
budgeted,
budget.
Chair, it's there. As long as it has not been paid to any ghost individuals outside there.
No. Governor, the disclaimer that the chair gave you there is a very important disclaimer. Just speak about Kisii and what happens, because in our other counties, we have seen that the intention of your staff is just to obtain that approval by the control of budget. And once that money hits the account of Kisii County, they void the list they used to get the approval and now pay the people that they want. We have seen, I've not seen it in Kisii, but I've seen it here in Nairobi, where now there is a preferred list of the people who have spoken well, quote unquote, to the staff in the office. People are on commissions, percentages, And those are the people who are paid. Wale vichwa ngumu, those ones who don't want to play the game, those are the transactions that are avoided. So when we go through this list, Governor, I'm happy you have said that some of the people here are not necessarily hustlers. But if you look at those amounts, they're an average of below 100,000 Kenya shillings. And that is why we want to have that conversation. And I think the chair has given the way forward. Sure. So if you can guarantee us that no approval came from the COP, no money came to the CRF, that's 232, and that if it came, it is still there, nobody else was paid using that list, then you should be clear. That is the only reason why you would clear the committee's concerns.
Correct. Senator Mwaruma?
Yeah, Chair, it is possible, from my experience, that you can requisition for money, you get the money into a CRF account, and pay different people. And that's one of the reasons why we have increase in pending bills, because then when you want to pay somebody and you pay a different person, then that payment that was intended then becomes a pending bill. But to the control of budget, there's something that you're saying, that once you allow money to be paid to the CRF of a county, then you have no authority to get the data or the statements from Central Bank of Kenya. What type of authority do you require? So much so that when you allow that payment to take place, then you need to follow up from the counties to ensure that the 100 million that was allowed is paid to the intended people. What type of authority do you require? And from who?
Yeah, I think that's where we now need a solution. I want to hear from the COB, I want to hear from the Treasury, and also want to hear from the Governor why they have a problem providing that visibility to the Controller.
Thank you, Chair. Providing visibility to the control of budget will really help a lot in terms of looking at who is the final beneficiary of payments that she has approved. As the way things stands right now, she has no that visibility of the county operations account, the 47 of them.
National Treasury, Reverend?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Being given visibility from Treasury's point of view, it is something that is possible. What I don't know is that where the Office of the Control of Budget, they have made that requisition to Treasury. That one I'm not very sure whether they have done it.
Let's hear, Governor, why is there a problem providing that visibility to the control of budget?
Chair, I may not comment so much on it, but the question is, after the money has left, all the approvals left COB, it goes to Central Bank. Therefore, it's very easy for them, again, to check on the list from Central Bank who hasn't paid. It's easy. So that now it's more easier. Next time when you're doing a requisition, you are told so many people that you had done requisition, you did not pay. You paid your own things. We're not going to do what? To approve the next payment until you explain why did you pay wrong people. It's just like that. It's only that the system could have.
So who's, you know, we are not here just to count the pennies. We are also here to come up with policy and legislative recommendations. There is a problem in other counties. You're saying it's not a problem in Kisii, but it's a problem in other counties. What Senator Mwaruma has described. The control of budget is seeking the help of the Senate. The Treasury is saying they've not been requested. The Governor is saying there is no problem, it can be done. So what is the solution? I thought we had a problem, but everyone is saying that there is no problem. But I know for a fact that when the controller wrote to counties requesting for that visibility, the Council of Governors wrote back a very nasty letter.
That is what I wanted to remind the chair, that the Council of Governors was very categorical, that now the control of budget wants to micromanage counties. But here, I think, Chair, the solution is on our side. Together with the control of budget, we should agree on whatever rules or legislation that needs to be changed to give that visibility to the COB. because that would strike a very serious blow for devolution, and especially for suppliers who, for whatever reasons, decide to do business in a scrupulous manner and ensure that there is no loss of public funds. So that one, I think, has to be left to us. Because if you leave it to the goodwill of Simba, even though he's a good man, it might not happen. It might not happen. Let us just tie the hands. The legislative process in this country is just about tying people's hands. Because for as long as there's any wiggle room, they will wiggle. Yeah, they will wiggle.
Okay, finally, Senator Onyonka, yes. And then I can see Chacha in Parliament, you don't raise your hand. We are not in a class. So I will maybe find out what he wants to hear. I have had very interesting, what he wants to say, because I've had interesting conversations where an officer insists on speaking and accuses the boss of a lot of things. So, Chacha, I'll give you the mic.
Chair, it's just that I've been hands-on on this issue of interaction with the COB for the last 13 years. That experience, that's what I wanted to contribute to the COB in the House. They might not be doing it in the system, Chair, but they are doing it manually. What I'm saying, Chair, any subsequent exchequer request you present to the controller budget, you must present bank statement, CBK bank statement of the previous requisition you did. Did you pay the right people? And what is the current balance in your operation account? That must be provided before they consider the request, subsequent request you provide, Chair.
Is it automated or it's all manual?
It's manual, but Chair, you print both Excel and PDF. You can't edit, Chair.
To Excel, you can do whatever you want.
Export PDF
and PDF, you can save a Word document as a PDF.
I don't know where Chacha was during the Supreme Court case. Chacha. People are editing from 34.
Even PDF can be edited.
Yes, it was a matter before.
So that does not give us any comfort.
Yeah. Chair, I just wanted to say that, Chair, you know, I have been very passionate about this issue. I think finally we are where we should be. These are the guardrails that have been deliberately emasculated to make sure that the financial platforms, I mean, Chair, let's be honest, the IFMI system has only been domesticated in Treasury last year, isn't it? There is no end-to-end encryption. So we are saying, allow us to have the evidence, who was paid, who made the approvals, the visibility, the ability for the controller budget to see who's being paid, I believe has deliberately been made to be opaque. And that is why I'm so happy that finally we are zeroing on this issue. Can we find out why this system is actually not functioning the way it's meant to function? Thank you.
I think we shall be required to interrogate quite a number of stakeholders in this matter as a House, as a committee.
Yes.
Because we are likely not to get an answer from any of these people, because what we call a charger, the information that she has given is not something that is tangible, that can be tabled. Yeah? Oh, sorry. I didn't see her. You know, we finally, Chair, I think we are the ones to make a decision on this matter. Because this is cancerous. It's something that's eating quite a number of counties.
And you remember, as you recall, it's not an idle. It's not an idle observation.
I think I like the way Senator Sifuna put it, because I think there is a lot of quite a number of cartels in the counties where people who are collectively in some good positions in good arrangements are paid, and then the rest of the people. That's why you hear people crying all over. People are being auctioned. Yeah, you have done a road, you have done some schools there, you have done some institutions, you are not paid.
It's actually, you know, when it does not have to be a Kisi problem, but I think we need to look at it as a national systems controls problem. And this is what has brought down quite a number of SACCOs. Because in a SACCO, there's a committee that approves loans. And then once the committee has approved the loans, the officers, the technical officers, decide to disburse to people who are not approved. And I think there's certain live matters of that nature. So we must tighten the systems so that once the control of budget has made an approval, that approval can be reversed only under certain circumstances. And I think the National Treasury provides certain guidelines. Any approval that has been granted, which has to be reversed, there needs to be documentation. There needs to be an audit trail. So, Gilbert, I think you guys are approaching this from a perspective of weakness. You've got a lot of powers in the Constitution, and you can enforce this for you to be able to achieve your constitutional mandate. Clerk, there was something you wanted to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to say something, Chair, about this system, arising from the conversation of the committee in the previous year about avoiding of transactions. I think there is a conversation, there is a system development. This is being rolled out currently by CBK, T24 and Infinity, that is going to replace the IB system. I don't know whether the COB or the Treasury are aware of it and whether the COB is going to be looked in it.
I hope it won't be worth 104 billion.
Let's first understand if it solves the problem we are talking about. We agree that at a minimum, an entity should not be able to void a transaction once it has been approved by the COB. Is that what the system is coming to do, Tim?
I'm not sure, but I think officers from the counties have been taken through the system. I don't know whether KC has been part of the...
You are not answering our question.
I'm not sure.
Is it coming to solve the problem, or is just a procurement like the one the chair is talking about of 104 billion at share?
Chair, I can confirm that is going to cure. That's what I'm getting from my CEC. But you can say.
Yes, are you aware of it?
Thank you, Chair. We were trained it last week and we have been ordered to make sure before 22nd of April we have voided all the transactions. Once you make an application, it's going to deduct money directly to the central bank. So you will never have it to hold the money. So I can confirm that system and the issue of voided transaction is going to be a thing of the past. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Senator Nairobi.
The solution was always here in the room and they allowed us to go round and round for hours, Chair.
Yeah, you should have told us there's something that is being worked on. Okay, now we've taken a lot of time on this because in our earlier brief, we thought that this was quite significant, the way it has been framed, that the controller has approved and you have voided. I think that would be a gross illegality, but we'll wait for the Auditor General to provide us with the evidence. As I'd said at the beginning, a number of the issues in this report ought to have been addressed through the audit committees, ought to have been addressed through a much more useful engagement at the audit process. There are only 8 issues that the Auditor General tells us